I'm British and a lord.
Oh, hello. I press record and I have no idea when it's going to start recording. Hi guys, I'm Wes and welcome back to WessinTheWorld. Oh man, do you wish that you could like smash stuff up when you make an entrance? This is just a test, by the way. Let me just see if this is recording my voice, cause I'm back. Oh shit, I actually need these. I need these. Alright. Well, I'm gonna click off and then click back. Just to see if this is recording. You take a low road, I'm gonna get back to you, girl. I take up a low road, you take a by road, I'll see you along the way. Baby, a little song in my heart today. A little bit of song in my heart today, guys. Come back to you with another WessinTheWorld. So we're taking these things in my own time now, and I sort of felt like the pressure was on me to make more episodes, and it's not really because I don't really have fans. Well, there's people that like me as a person. They aren't my friends. And that is the majority of the people that watch my videos. It's just my friends. It's really nice that I have this freedom to be able to talk, to be able to smoke, so freely. Because this is what I imagine the internet would have been like. Now, I do have a few things to talk about. Welcome back to WessinTheWorld. I'm Wes. I'm currently in your world. This is currently my little world, my little cave. Anyone who's been here knows that it's a den of solitude, and it gives me, I don't know, it gives me an opportunity to enter into my safe, sacred space, so that I could separate from my emotions, so that I can really understand why I feel them towards these things. So some people think, why are you so, you talk about health and separating from, suffering and all this sort of stuff, but you still drink, you still smoke, you still do all this sort of stuff. I was having this conversation with my friend the other day, actually. In the fact that if you are 100% Buddhist, or you are 100% Taoist, or you do follow practice very stringently and very strictly, it makes you live entirely on your spirituality side of your brain, which is the creative side of your brain. And I'm going to get into this anyway a little bit later, basically. So I've been watching this anime called Scissor 7. It was originally called Killer 7, but there was actually an actual game called Killer 7, so they had to change the name to Scissor 7. Please watch that show, because we were having a conversation about it, that if there's a race of people that live entirely on the intellectual side of their brain, the logical side, and they become the technologically advanced people that want to destroy everyone else because they see them as inferior. And then you have the spiritual side, which is the spiritual people that are in touch with their spiritual side, the martial arts people, and obviously on the technological side, you've got people with guns and stuff like that. So it's basically like the Industrial Revolution when we took over Japan and all that sort of stuff. And if you wanted to know who won that battle, the logical mind. Because Japan now use technology. Whereas it was once a place of great art and spirituality when people used to... But they become so engrossed in their spirituality and their spiritual practices that they had no way of protecting their shit from thieves and terrorists. Or whatever, classification you want to put people in. But yeah, so they had no one to protect themselves from this kind of stuff because they hadn't practiced or trained or put any amount of effort into it. So that's where the samurai came along, and that's when all these sort of like martial arts practices came along, was to be spiritual but also to be able to defend one's physical self from external threats. And that's where that sort of came from. So they all sort of, that spiritual minded people work on their internal mind and start to develop spiritually, which means that they can't really communicate to the broader capacity, the broader variety of people. They can't talk to the technologically people because they don't speak the language. They don't say the words like extrapolate and or, intelligent vocabulary. They don't use vocabulary because there's technological and spiritual people on both sides in every practice. Cooking, you got people with the highest technology that's helping them really do the things that they need to do, and then you've got the spiritual people which take recipes from their family, recipes from what they feel, and then they make these really beautiful custom dishes, and it's like artisan, it's kind of specific to them, special recipes, that sort of thing. So that sort of duality exists in every practice. Art, you've got the people with all the gear but no idea. The same with music. You got people that are, but then you don't have the people. Then you have the people like Jimi Hendrix, which aren't technically the greatest, as people have said, not technically the greatest guitarist of all time, but essentially, yeah. It's all about what you do with it and where you run with it, really. So if you want to take any particular piece of, if you want to get into any creative practice or anything like that, it's not about, because obviously you're copying. At the start, you're copying everyone. You're copying, if you're an artist, you're copying Van Gogh. If you're a musician, you're copying Jimi Hendrix. You've got to get into those realms to try and understand where they ran with it. But you can't run where they ran with it. You have to take the foundation that they built on, that kind of just letting go, just letting what you feel bubble to the surface. And then you run with it, and you don't take any outside feedback on board. You just like fucking go with what's in here, what is felt by the body, and then you translate that to people, and that's what makes great music, what makes great art. And yeah, so this Scissor 7 anime, which I'm not into anime that much. So if you are looking to get into anime, trying to find a really good anime, please Scissor 7, it's amazing. Yeah, I cut myself. I'm not actually like a crack addict. What is it with they always have these scrapes and scratches down there? Probably because of the hardened lives that they live. But yeah, so I mean, creativity with anything it's yours to spend, and it's really the only freedom that we have. If you look at every freedom that we have as humans, everything seems to be regulated, everything seems to be limited, everything seems to be made so that we can enjoy the convenience of these things, but we can't really, there's nothing craftable and moldable about them that we can express ourselves through them, you know what I mean? It's the difference between like Android and iPhone. iPhone's a very solid state operating system, whereas Android is a bit more of a customizable operating system. So that's why more creative people use Android than iPhone, because iPhone allows you to sort of be able to make the phone into what iPhone is, you're using their operating system. Android's like you create your own operating system really from elements. So it's in that aspect as well. You just got to be able to see the duality and because if I was a creative, I would look at the two and I'd be like, oh, that speaks to me. And what I mean by that speaks to me is that is more in alignment with what I hold so dear to myself. I'm not looking for structure. I'm not going into something thinking, I'm going to tangibly put this together in order for me to be similar to people in my category. So I can be on that level. I'm sort of thinking, what can I do here that's going to be like, what's this and this? And can I put this together? What happens when I put those two things together? Oh, it's noise. But that noise could work in a specific context. You know what I mean? So this is like the creative side of life that I think everyone should be engaging with. And it's not thought police. If anything, the thought police have you in the mindset that you aren't a creative person. That's what the thought police are doing. And we're taking that on board, and we're telling that to ourselves and our ego. Well, our egos are telling us that. That you don't take the art life, there's not a lot of money in it. And as we know, the ego is only concerned with money or survival. So yeah, what's this video about? So it's just me coming back to podcasting after having a little bit of break. Been having a few different breaks, but I'm not really feeling too bad about it. If you guys want me to make more videos, I will make more videos. Just send a question, or just send a really good question, and then I'll just answer it on my podcast. But I am going to get back to doing my regular 8 p.m. meditations. Meditate at 8, Wellness with Wes. Check me out on my Instagram. It's going to be in the comment section. Thank you very much for sticking with me this long. I think this is like the 27th episode, and I'm still going. And I've not been shut down, even though I'm using unlicensed music. And honestly, I don't have license to use this music. But Action Bronson, I fucking love you, because you undoubtedly know that I'm using your music at this point, and you've not cracked down on me, so I love you. Mwah. And I've always loved you, and I will always watch Fuck That's Delicious, because your channels and your entertainment is gold standard. Gold standard. Action Bronson. He's a rapper, he's also got a cooking show, he's also amazing, he's also probably God, and we're all God, and everyone's God, and we all love everyone. So let's all just get along and forget our differences. Unless one of those differences comes in handy in a moment when you really need it, then point it out and go, you do something I don't. Can you help me out? And basically, so yeah, and also Jai Paul. I'm going to make a whole video about Jai Paul, because I don't think there's a video on the internet that really expresses how elusive that this guy is. But yeah, so thank you very much, guys, for not cracking down on my channel. You must have watched something that I'm doing and realized that it's not doing a great deal of bad to your name, which is great. But yeah, so anyway, to the news. Let's go to the news. Let's turn. I'm gonna turn. Da, 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 da. Oh shit, broke my charger. And that's how that happens. That's how quickly life can go from good to shit. Look at that. That's not going in any way, shape or form back to where it was. So anyway, welcome back to Wes in the News. Wes in the News? What's in the news? Come on, let's get the news going. I've got 2 news stories. I don't have a big team, but basically, there's a lot happening in the news. The pandemic's starting to ease off now. Now, considering I don't really know, and Boris doesn't really know, and Trump doesn't really know what's going on, I'll tell you. Like a spiritual realization is happening, or even a psychological realization, or a spiritual or psychological revolution seems to be happening. And basically, from my perspective, everyone's realizing that they took socializing way too for granted in the time that it took for them to be, you know, in this time. And I think that it's important to remember that, like, when you do go back to being social, you're going to appreciate it way more. I went to a party just this weekend, just gone, when the pandemic sort of eased off a little bit, and it wasn't like, it was still, you know, there's still a healthy amount of social distancing going on, but the conversations, guys, beautiful. You know, it's sort of, you know, when you're usually having a conversation with someone, it starts to get a little bit, you know, boring. That doesn't happen anymore, because you're not taking conversation and socializing for granted anymore. And when I say it's boring, I mean that your mind is distracted by other things that your mind thinks are more important, like thinking about the bills, thinking about paying back friend, thinking about all this sort of stuff. None of this stuff is important, because it's all just in your mind, and it's all just thoughts. So with this whole quarantine thing, and it's easing off now, are you going to find that there's a lot more focus on social, local events, because you're going to want to get people in your local area a little bit further out. We're thinking a lot less internationally now. We're thinking very locally, and that's great, because it's a step in the right direction. If everyone in their area was being support, just supportive of one creative. If everyone was supportive of one creative that they knew, you'd see a lot better art, you'd see a lot better music, just because they would exist as they're getting support. So the ego would say, oh, that's maybe not just a waste of time, maybe I can actually make a living out of that, and maybe I should go into that. And you're going to get this massive creativity boost in your local area, which is going to be great. Even down to produce, there's an amazing group or collective of people all over the UK, and there's certain sects in specific areas of the UK called mutual aid, and that's about swapping seeds, it's about swapping food, and it's about doing it without hierarchy, sort of like an anarchist sort of movement. And I know I did a hierarchy when I did the word anarchist, but it's completely just non-hierarchical. There's no leaders, there's no managers. It's basically just a group of people came together to help people, and it's beautiful. And the more that I see of this, the more that I see progress happening. There's a seed swapping. There's a seed swapping Facebook that I'll also be sharing in the comment section as well. And this is how we're going to improve our local environment. So if you are kind of person that says, why is there so much bad in the world? Why are people so selfish? Why you could be the solution. And not just you, also you, and all of you. And by that I meant multiple versions of you, which are different people that are watching this. And if everyone was to support the people that they love, that are creative, their creative friends will definitely do better off. I mean, it's only a few free shares. Like, you're only sharing it. I actually fell off my skateboard, so I didn't actually finish that story. Fell off my skateboard, guys. Skating is dangerous, yeah, but I don't give a fuck, because skating's fun as hell. And if I didn't get this, I wouldn't know how to not get this next time. It's all about learning. I was talking to a guy. I fell off my skateboard. He was like, oh, you want to stop that? That's dangerous. I was like, no, you can't go through life hoping that you don't fall. You have to just get better at falling. And this is one of the lessons that I learned from skating. It's crazy. I learned from skating that if you fall over, you have to fall over multiple times to learn how to hit the ground so that you don't get hurt. I mean, I did get hurt this time, but that's just because I haven't fallen in a while. But funny. But yeah, I'm getting off the topic. So if you support one creative in your area, and I'm not trying to control your brain or anything, but it's not going to affect how people see you. If anything, people will see you in a more caregiving, more compassionate way. Because this is how we're going to repair ourselves as people. Because when you do something for others, it does a lot for you. And you know that resonates. You know that feels good. And I try to do as much as I can for other people. But I am very selfish as well. And this is why I made this video. This is why I make all these videos. Is just to show you that, like, I'm trying with my meditations. I'm not so great with them. Not so regular with them. Not so consistent with them. But at the end of the day, we're all... The tree reaches for the sun. It knows it's not going to reach the sun. Does it give up trying? No. Because that's the way of nature. And if we know anything about life, and we know anything about the Taoist, the Tao Te Ching, life is all about living in alignment with the nature that is around you. And you'll know this from if you ever camped and in the morning you wake up in nature. It's a lot different than waking up in a bed with your windows closed. It's waking up, starting the day, setting the tone correctly, and being in alignment with nature. Because as soon as you start disconnecting yourself off from nature, you start to get these sort of like disconnections from what you truly are. You have this general disconnect from what you really are, and you start to suffer. You start to worry about who you are. Don't worry about who you are. You'll never know. You can only know what you are. God, it's been a while since I've made one of these videos. We were in the news, so what's next? Scissor 7, great anime. Please watch it. Separates people into, the two sides, technological side, the spiritual side, and also there's a third side, which is basically the people in the middle that are sort of just watching. They haven't quite decided whether they're technologically advanced or whether they're spiritually advanced. They're just sort of lingering in the middle. And me and my friend discovered that they might be the ones that experience life the best, to be honest, because they see technologically, they see the world through a technological lens, and they see it through a spiritual lens as well. So they have this weird mix. This is why it sort of feels like a war's going on in your mind, because you're constantly being pulled towards technology, logic. This doesn't make sense to have this many people on the planet. That eventually goes off to just culling the population. But spirituality is in alignment with not survival, not profit. Spirituality is travelling in the direction of experience. What do I want out of life? I want the ultimate experience. I want to be able to become the ultimate servant, so that I can be in a specific situation to be useful and be calm and collective and be able to help, rather than panic and make things worse. Last of Us, amazing game, by the way, and I will give an official review of that game because I've been watching it. I've not been playing it. My friend's been playing it. But it's an amazing game. I will do official review on that one. And yeah, and just this one, which is How Do You Not Care? So I know this was supposed to be the news section, but let's switch back. This is not the news and Wes. So back to WessinTheWorld. So how do I not care about what's happening in the world? Easy, because with meditation I focus on what is essentially the energy that I am, and that extrapolates out into a person. But I don't have to worry about what the person's doing. I mean, I have to keep it in check, but I try to dedicate myself to survival and profit as much as I can without dying. But the fact that the reason why I don't care is because I identify with everything, like people, nature. So I'm more in alignment. I try to be more in alignment with nature than I can be with people. People confuse me. They say things that don't make sense. Like I posted a video of some police stomping in some dude without any context at all. It's quite interesting, actually. You find out who your friends, well, not your friends, but you find out who your friends are, not in relation to myself, but you find out what kind of people they are. It's quite interesting. The police could see someone get stomped on without any context. You don't even know what the person's done. Put his hands up, went down, and the police ran in with dogs. There's like 10 police, so they're all jumping on him, trying to get spraying in a direction, but you couldn't get his spraying because there was so much violence going on. Very strange. And people in the comment section was like, "Oh, he could have been a rapist." I was like, I mean, do we want to put that just on people? It's a bit of a conclusion. You see someone getting, like with the whole George Floyd, you could have seen him getting choked out in the street and being killed, and you would have been like, "Nah, he's probably a rapist." Nah, it's an excuse that I'm telling myself so I don't feel bad today. The fuck? You see a human stomping on another human, you fucking get in there and you say, "Look, this is way more than you need to be." Obviously, if he deserves to be punished, he needs to be tried first. He could be the wrong guy. Imagine if it's your brother, your sister, your mother. They get stomped out for no reason, end up in hospital with 2 broke lungs. Sorry, I'm getting really... But yeah, I found that an interesting, like, sort of a social experiment. Just to post that video. I'm doing them all the time. I'm just posting social experiments. People think I'm a troll. I'm not a troll. I'm just making people aware of who they are. Because if they continue with selfish ways of living, they're going to have a bad life. And then they're going to have no one to blame but themselves in the end. So I'm just trying to say, be more collective, be more for the general populace, be more in favour of people. Try to look at someone that's, getting hassled by the police and say, no, that's wrong. The police are there to protect and serve. That's what they're paid for. We don't pay them to attack people. That's not protecting and serving. 10 police officers stomping on one guy. I didn't think that needed to be explained. But yeah, anyway, I didn't want to end this on a bad point. I want to end this on a good point. I love you guys. Thank you so much for staying with me as long as you have been. And I hope that we can continue this on into the future, because I really enjoy doing them. I'm going to make more videos. Send me questions, send me debatable topics that you've been having with your friends. I want to be in the discussion, and I want to make videos about it, because I don't know, it's sort of like journalism, but just social journalism. I want to find out what people are talking about, and I want to get in that discussion, because I want to see how people are. I want to find out more about people, and I love people. I love everyone, but what we know about the world is that if you love everyone, everyone won't love you. I know. It's a sad fact, but fuck it, I don't care. I love everyone irregardless of whether they love me or not. Because if you love the Muslims, and the Christians won't love you because you love their enemies, all this sort of stuff. If you love the Israelis, the Palestinians won't love you. If you love the Palestinians, the Israelis won't love you. It's tribalism, and you could transcend above it very easily. You just have to give love without expecting it back, which in capitalist society we're pre-programmed to think that that's just a raw deal. But it's not a raw deal, because if you smile at someone and they don't smile at you, I guarantee that they smile at the next person that smiles at them. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Wes. WessinTheWorld. Stay blessed. Don't stress. You never know what's next. And it's really exciting. It's never scary. And if you think that it is, just have a glass of water. Maybe go to sleep. Maybe a bit tired. Because humans are fucking unstoppable. BOW! Finish this shit with some guitar. Where's my guitar at? Throw that shit over there. Yeah! Oh shit, yeah. Finally got my fucking guitar back. This was like my custom Jackson that I played £2,000, and I don't play it anymore. But now I'm gonna. Trash. It was all trash. You know, I haven't played in a while, okay? But yeah, that should make you feel good about playing guitar, because I've been playing like 15 years and it was garbage. But some of it was alright. Later.
Oh! Oh, tell me where you got it from, what, because it's mine.